Good Monday morning and welcome to Kramer's Corner with the daily technical update. It is the 15th of July and we'll start with the SOX index or the SOX ETF semiconductor. And as you can see here, despite bouncing a little bit Friday, the top and reversal pattern, bearish engulfing, is still in place, and with the divergence on the RSI, it is a top and reversal, and I do expect it to slide lower in the coming days and weeks. It does have to close above the peak there, 267.25, to cancel that and push higher. So it seems a little bit heavy, to be honest. S&P 500, also bearish engulfing still in place. It did try to cancel it Friday. As you can see here, it spiked higher, but it actually closed lower, so it was very close to canceling it. So there's a really strong battle going around, but if it does close above 5,643, then we have a continued bullish trend. And the interesting thing is that the RSI is not telling us there's any divergence, so we should push higher on S&P 500. But if we look at the Nasdaq 100, where there's been divergence for quite some time, and also have this top and reverse light pattern here, well, then there's a battle between going on, and I think it's because the semiconductors and the big tech caps are weighing so much on Nasdaq compared to S&P. Still, they're weighing both on both, but more so on Nasdaq, and that's why Nasdaq looks a little bit worse than S&P 500. Looking at the Russel 2000 again, which we also did last week, actually pushed higher again. Further gains. Friday jumped more than 1%, as we can see here, actually. And you can see my written analysis I sent out Friday, that there's potential up to 227. This is the Russell 2000 ETF, mirroring the index. It's not the index, but the ETF. And you can see 200% or 100% of this corrective pattern here. You can see what it is. This corrective here, triangle here, well, it gives us around that level here on the short to medium term. So it looks very fairly strong on the small caps, and it seems like a market is rotating into other sectors, and we also saw that last week with other sectors like uranium, the alternative energy giving maybe some fresh air and so on. In the Europe, we have EUROSTOXX 50 that actually closed about 5,000. So actually now build an uptrend, higher highs and higher lows. Next resistance at 5,082. We are above the cloud. Interesting thing though is that RSI hasn't really confirmed. It didn't close above 60. I would like to see a confirmation of that. Otherwise, it could be limited, the upside potential. But let's see here the next couple of days and keep an eye on the RSI 14. DAX, on the other hand, fairly strong. Went on the third try. It went through the resistance at 18,630. Now it's going for the previous all-time highs, 18,893. RSI is supporting the uptrend, so I think we'll see DAX pushing higher here in coming weeks. Also, Amsterdam pushing higher. There was a little bit of a scare there with the Thursday sell-off, but it didn't really change the overall picture of a bullish trend. We are still above the rising trend line, and now RSI is also breaking above its falling trend line here, so there could be further upside potential. Maybe eyeing 1,000. Let's see if we can get up there. CAC 40 touched and was rejected once again at 77.25 resistance, and now it's lower this morning, so it's really still struggling, but this is the key resistance to look out for. Swiss market that has cancelled its top and reversal pattern, so we can remove this highlighting there, and is pushing higher towards 12,500, 12,600. I think that's where we are moving at the moment in this region. This corrective phase here is giving energy to 12,526, I believe. First step is 12,438. But we are in a bullish trend. There's a little bit divergence, but I think it would be cancelled, especially if it breaks above its falling trend line there. On the FX front, we have euro dollar very close to 109.16, the previous peak here from June. It's not the strongest one, and we have the RSI in a bullish trend, bullish sentiment. So I think we will see euro dollar pushing higher towards 109.78, 80 level, around that, where we have a little bit stronger resistance, as you can see here. It's much stronger, this area here. So I think we'll push towards that in the coming week or so. Do expect a little bit of a setback, but uptrend is fairly strong, also supported by the moving average. As you can see, 55 coming up here, very close to breaking above the 100 and also the 200 moving average. Give it a couple of days and I think we'll do it. And that is a strong signal that the underlying trend is bullish on euro dollar. Euro sterling, on the other hand, is trading around the 84. Key support actually closed below Friday, and there is further downside in the pipeline, I believe, pushed down to 83.58, 83. 40, where we have some support, but we have to look really far back to find out where it's all the way back to the 2022 lows there. Quite heavy, but do expect a little bit of a bounce here the next couple of days, but I think we will see further selling pressure in euro sterling. Cable, sterling dollar, very close to its resistance at 130. Just around 130. I think it will take it out. We are in a strong bullish trend. There is a positive sentiment on the RSI, no divergence, indicating we are likely to see higher levels. Let's have a look at the weekly, what it looks like. As we can see, we are above this resistance here, and 131 around that area on the medium-term trend. Seems like that's where we are going. Also positive sentiment on the RSI, no divergence, indicating likely higher levels on sterling dollar. The dollar yen, well, the rebound fizzles, and we are trading just below the rising trend line here. If it takes out last week's lows around 157.35, well, then I expect a sell-off down to 156.13, where we have a little bit strong support with the cloud. We also have the 100 moving average coming. But if it happens, if it occurs, then we will also get the RSI back below 40, and that's going to be interesting, because then we are also in negative sentiment, and that can actually increase the selling pressure. But I think we will see that. But keep an eye on that. That's the key support, and also key support here for euro yen. If it takes out Friday's low at 171.44, well, then next support 170.63. Which is also the 61.8 retracement of the uptrend here, but it could dip down all the way to the 786 retracement at 169.20, and the lower rising trend line. That will be some strong support in this region here. The Aussie yen also at the let's remove that one so we have a little bit of a clear picture, and let's also move this one. So we have currently at the 38.2. If it takes out Friday's low at 106.75, I think we'll see a sell-off down to 106, maybe 105.20, which is 61.8. I think we will get down to around, maybe even dipping to the support and the 55 moving average just below 105. Sterling yen, same picture really. Will it bounce or will it break? Taking out Friday's lows at 103.84, then we are likely to see a sell-off down to around 200, but at 38. Currently testing the rising trend line here, and this is the key level to look out for. Will it bounce or will it break? Aussie dollar pushing higher. We reached the 161.8 projection. There is positive sentiment, no divergence, indicating we're likely to see higher levels on the Aussie dollar, and medium term there is room up to around 68.70. Dollar Canada, not really much going on, still the 135.90 support. Euro Swiss crawling higher, trading around the 61.8 retracement. I would expect a little bit of a setback, but we are in a bullish trend. We are having positive sentiment. I think we will see it pushing higher towards the 786 retracement at 98.40 in the coming week or so. Dollar Swiss, on the other hand, a bit more indecisive, looks heavy. We could see a retest of the 61.8 retracement at 89.12, possibly dipping down to 88.75. Then we have the dollar index, 103.68 support should be observed. I think it will break it and push lower towards 103. Gold is trading around the 786 retracement at 24.15. A little bit of a setback, expect that, but the underlying trend in terms of the moving averages is bullish. There's positive sentiment on the RSI, despite showing divergence. I think we could push higher if it takes out 2,425. I think we will see a retest of the previous all-time high at 24.50, potential up to around 2,500. For this picture to be demolished, it really needs to move back below 23.50. On the silver, got rejected at the 786 retracement, trading around the 30s, but 8.5. We are in a bullish trend. There's no divergence on the RSI. If it takes out the peak here from last week, 31.76, then I expect new all-time highs. I think it will break above the not all-time highs, previous peak. It's not all-time highs. We have to go back to the 70s, 80s, where we actually saw higher silver prices. The platinum still struggling to get through the 1,015. Copper really needs to take out 470, 469.60 to be exact, but for 470 and is struggling at the moment. Still negative sentiment, got rejected there at the 60 level. If it takes out on the lower side 447.65, then we could see a push towards the 430, 425. On the oil markets, well, probably being caught range bound with a bullish undertone between 80 and 85. On the WTI, the Brent crude oil, more or less the same picture, being caught between 84 and 88. Very strong resistance up here, just below $90, 89.80. So we are in a bullish trend. There is positive sentiment, but we can see this moving average of 55, 200. They are declining. So there's a little bit battle going on between medium to longer term trends. Finally, on the US Treasury yield, still staying above the 417 support. It did dip below twice last week, and if it does that again, I think we'll see a sell-off down to around 4%. All right, that's all for today. Have a nice day and happy trading.